when I talked to Rashard, and he didn't have a very long, NFL career, but he had a fairly good one. From 22 to 4 years, 4 years, or no, 5 years, because I think he left at his junior year. And he told me that he bought a used Jaguar, and he still had that car like 10 years later when he was like writing for Ballers and stuff like that. He still had that old Jaguar. He bought his mom like a $300,000 condo. You know what I mean? Like everything he bought was relatively inexpensive, and he still has money today. He doesn't wear designer clothes. He doesn't have jewelry. He understood that this was a limited run. He took it seriously, and financially he's fine. He's not super wealthy, but most people in his position would have been broke right now. But he was actually smart with his money.
Lucky, because Muhammad Ali went broke.
Yeah.
This is another thing what happened with Sebastian. He was like, he's a grown man. It was his turn out of Brooklyn. And everybody around is like, people want to see you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they're walking around looking like a rapper, being that.
No, he talked about that. He said that actually that was a problem in some of his like early teams, like when he went to Portland, where he was the dude that was Louis'd out, Bentley, and some of the superstars on the team weren't doing that.
Right.
And that caused a certain level of resentment. So later on in his career, he had to tone it down.
Yeah.
But I mean, look, it's one of those things. He talked about where, at the end of our interview, he was like, yo, how come NBA players don't have hedge funds? He was saying how the NBA pension fund was going to start their own bank at one point, so they could actually give loans to the players themselves without having to go through an outside entity. And we talked about how in these locker rooms, no one's really talking about business. You got $100 million in this room, and people aren't making deals and aren't starting businesses, aren't talking about investments. And that has to change. Yes, the LeBrons, it doesn't really matter. LeBron can't go through all his money, right? But LeBron does not live next to his teammates. He lives in a totally different part of the city.
Right.
Kobe did not live around his teammates. A typical NBA locker room. You got $100 million in that room, easy, right?
Okay.
Whenever I've asked someone, how often are the players talking about investments in that locker room? I always hear never. People talk about a car they purchased, they talk about a trip, they talk about buying their mom a house, some jewelry, but no one's like, hey, listen, I just invested in the S&P 500. I just bought these stocks.
You got your group.
But as a whole, you have $100 million, which could be a hedge fund.
You want to know why?
Why is that?
Because you got 10 agents controlling
that conversation.
All 40 or 400 of them players. You got 10 agents controlling it. We supposed to be, and a guy like Billy Hunter not being able to follow through his plan, because Billy Hunter was up there saying, we about to buy a bank for you guys.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, he was talking like that. We about to buy a bank. Guys are coming out the league early. This is what I'm gonna do. Not only you gonna have a 401k and your pension, we're gonna get you a SEP IRA, a Roth account.
Yeah.
We're gonna get you a bridge account.
Yeah.
They got 7, 8 accounts now. That's why you don't hear nobody crying broke. You know what I'm saying? So
a bank sounds awesome though. I mean, because the bank could give loans to the players and everything else like that.
Why we not hedge funding?
Exactly.
That's the number one. Why NBA players is not hedge funding?
Right. You guys can make group investments together.
No, because you can't have that though, because then it'd be some real wealth. They like the perception that is real wealth. It's not real wealth around the NBA. I promise you that. Because soon I say that, someone's gonna say, they're gonna bring up the richest dudes. They're gonna say, "Oh, LeBron got $1 billion." That's one dude. Nobody lives in the community with him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm advocating to open up different fields also. We got too many of our kids trying to go to the NBA.
Right.
When we know it's only 400 jobs. And we got to realize that where that money is coming from. Who else lives in LeBron community and they don't play basketball?
Plus there's a difference.
Yeah.
So first thing is it's really hard to be great at something in this one lifetime. if you're blessed enough to be a Serena Williams, a Venus Williams, a Tiger Woods, I'm just mentioning black folks, a Shaquille, a Michael Jordan, if you're blessed enough to be in that situation, God bless you. Denzel Washington. But you're working really hard at being good at that. When do you have time to be really good at finance? You don't. You have to, if you want it. Accounting, you can't be good at that, good at investing, and good at basketball, and it just it's
Yeah, no, I feel you.
right.
I get
can't
it.
be
I'm not good at accounting. I'm not good at paying taxes. I have someone who I trust who handles it all.
Right. We always run into the wrong snakes who we should not trust. I had a guy, it's worst thing in the world. I'm not going to say his name and give him any publicity. Worst thing in the world. Seemed like he was helping me. Seemed like everything was great.
Robbing you.
Terrible.
Yeah,
and he was black.
Yeah,
which
I talked
messed
to
it
have
up
been
even
through
worse
this.
for me.
Yeah.
Because I was so on that, you got to be black. Now, so Umar Johnson doesn't have to say it to me. I'm mentioning that. I'm mentioning that I literally tried for years to start this thing on helping guys and prove to them as black people, we can do this. Just hear me out. Hear me. Try this. Try to get to that. You're not going to talk in the locker room because being in a sports team, and I'm not making it any short of anybody in the military, but you don't know if the guy next to you is going to get his head blown off tomorrow, or you are. So there's no really being close to people. And I'm not having conversation with you about finances. I already know you mad I got traded here because I took your boy's spot. We already got a problem. Chemistry. So what I'm telling you, you're not, we was with Merrill Lynch. Still, they didn't want to do it, didn't want to hear it. The NBA started sending guys around. It's important that you have these meetings. Jimmy Jackson and I were looking into it. Jimmy got into boutique hotels. And I thought that was a great idea. Mashburn got into cars, just like Westbrook. Westbrook owns these cars dealership. These stores are going to pay them for the rest of their life at least $1 million a year. A lot of people didn't have those opportunities. And people were already in their pocket and in their head.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the sad part.
Yeah.
That's the sad part. Especially because this is the weird part about professional sports is that your salary is broadcast to the world.
Yeah.
People could guess how much money I have, but it's just a guess.
And you could work until you're 65.
True.
These guys have 4 years is the most.
Yeah.
3.2.
3.2 years.
To make their fortune, and then they have to go to work. The depression I had when I retired, bro, the first time in 1996, I'm telling you, I not getting up and going to practice, Vlad. Oh my God.
Gilbert Arenas told me the same story.
Yeah.
He said that when he retired, and he had tons of money, because remember, he had a deal that gave him like $100 million or something to not even play. And he said what he would do is he would get up in the morning and he would go to somewhere in LA and he would pick the longest possible route he could take. You know how usually you pick the shortest route?
Yeah.
He would go the opposite. He would pick the longest possible route so he could just sit in his car and waste time because he had no idea what to do with himself.
Oh,
he was so used to, okay, now the season's starting. I got to go to practice. I got to start working out, get my body right, whatever. He's been doing this since he was a teenager. That's all gone. What does a retiree, a 32-year-old retiree who's worth $100 million spend their days over the next year or two?
Trying to find out who the fuck he is. Miserable.
Really? You were miserable?
Yeah.
Huh. I did not expect this answer. Okay.
Because, like any athlete, right? From the ages of 6, 7 years old, all we knew was one thing, hoop.
Yeah.
Hoop school, right? Hoop summer, hoop play, right? Hoop
okay,
school.
so you were how old when you started playing? 6?
I started at 10.
At 10, yeah. You were a little bit later.
Yeah, I was later.
So from 10 years old, but you were nonstop.
Yeah, so 10 to 32, nonstop. All I knew was basketball, right? That's all I knew. Regimen, wake up, ball, sleep, wake up, ball, sleep, wake up, ball, eat. Like, that was it.
Yeah.
Right? My career, right? I'm not partying as much during the season because that's the weird thing about NBA players that, they work their asses off during the summer and then in the season starts, they want to party more because they get to go to every city, which is stupid, right? It's supposed to be the other way around. Focus during the season, party in the summer. So, I handicap, don't use phones, don't party as much, go to 2-3 cities, don't drink, like there's things that I put. So when I'm done and say, all right, Gilbert, have fun, enjoy life. All right, cool. A week goes by, the summer goes by, and then what ends up happening is this is what happens to every athlete. The season changes. Their season, right? I can smell when the season's starting. Getting a little colder, that September smell is coming. Mm-hmm. So what ends up happening is my body naturally goes into get ready for the season mode.
Huh, okay.
Well, unfortunately, there's no fucking season.
Yeah.
But for the last fucking years of my life,
22 years.
My body,
2/3 of your life.
My body has been programmed. 5:30, wake up, right? Train, go to sleep, eat lunch, train, wake up, boom, train. So now when training camp starts, because every athlete, they're going to get antsy. They're going to start doing a lot of this when the season's getting ready to start. And now there's no season. So what happens? You're sitting there like, what the fuck do I do with this time? All right, I woke up at 5:30. All right, okay, I'm going to go to the gym. Okay. And so what I did when I first, retired, I had to try to figure out how to be busy between 9 o'clock and 12. And then it's lunchtime, then I go to sleep, and then about 5 o'clock to like 8, be busy again. So what I caught myself doing, not even noticing, not even really understanding it. I'm driving from Calabasas all the way to downtown.
Just to kill time.
Just to kill time. In traffic, just listen to music, got a fucking playlist. Trying to, like, how like, it's like, all right, take this route for shorter. I'm taking the longest route. Huh. Right? Just driving to downtown, driving back. By the time I get back, it's noon. Fucking lunchtime. Go get some lunch. Huh. Go on my TV, pass out, wake up, do it again. I spent a year driving in traffic.
Wow.
Like, I'll buy a new car and I got like fucking 30,000 miles on it in a year because I'm just fucking in traffic the whole time.
And your family used to fall in line. Like, my wife would be like, there was no noise in the afternoon when I was taking my nap. None. Like, if the gardener came too late, be like, dude, what did you? No, you can't cut today. It was, everybody knew it was part of the regiment. It was part of the superstition. We're going to drive this way. We're going to leave at this time. Don't have on too much perfume because I'm in the car. I don't need to be smelling that. Like, guys walk in the locker room smelling like perfume. So, motherfucker, it's a game. What the fuck you doing? You know what I'm saying? It's just a way, and you don't want your routine messed up. And so once that routine is in the situation, I remember my wife asked me one time, she's like, hey, can you come fix this light bulb? I was like, who fixed the light bulb when I was at work? She was like, well, you fired him. I was like, oh, because when I had Mr. John working for me, he was a butler of sorts. I brought back from Canada. It's because I needed somebody, greatest guy too. He was a sergeant in the Canadian Army. No, in the British Army. Man, he would cut your throat in a second. But, when you have everybody, all these different people, all these different handlers, and then you're no longer playing, you don't need the handlers anymore. But the presidents get to keep Secret Service.
Yeah.
Once you get to that lifestyle, it's a trip to dial it back. Yeah.
Sebastian Telfair told me an interesting story. He said that he was working out this one time, and Kobe was in the gym with him. And Kobe walked up to him and said, you know how I know you can't guard me? You came here on a bus. I came here on a helicopter.
You lifting weights.
Okay. And
Kobe, like, you can't, I never started a conversation with him. That's so funny. He just came over there. So I guess that was Smush's problem. You gotta wait till him come to you. But Kobe is like, man, you know how I know y'all can't guard me? So I'm like, how you know we can't guard you? He said, when the ball come in and it come hit my hand, I know y'all got here on a bus. I said, like, you know, every team comes on a bus. You can leave from the hotel. Every team, no matter who it is, he's on a bus. He said, I got here on a helicopter. I just got off a helicopter. You got off a bus. This is a bucket. And I'm sitting there just stuck like, I remember sharing that story with KD and Westbrook. And I remember KD looking at me like, I'm about to go ask Kobe, did he say this? And I'm sure he probably got an opportunity to ask him. But yeah, definitely, shout out to Kobe, man. That's a legacy we're going to miss.
Oh, psychological warfare. You can't guard Kobe because his offense is unguardable. It was already proven by what Michael did. I love when people show side-by-side video and they're doing the same moves. It's unguardable. It's unguardable. So like I said, seeing LeBron go full speed, taking off and dunking the ball, I would have so moved out of the way. So many people I challenged. It would be I would not go up to challenge. There's certain people, Charles Barkley, 6'4". But when he was going to the basket, no one got in his way. So there's certain things that are unguardable. And him talking to Sebastian like that, it was the only way. The only way to try to get into his brain. Plus, he was so much younger than him. He knew he had to be some sort of fan. Just have to go into his brain.
Just messing with his head.
That's
basically.
all it was.
Well, yeah, I remember I interviewed Joe Smith, and he played with LeBron, Kevin Durant, Allen Iverson, Kevin Garnett, and Kobe. And he said that Kobe's hunger was different.
Yeah.
And we're talking about all-time greats that we're naming right now.
Yeah.
He said that something about Kobe, when it came to playing the game and winning, was different than all these other greats. What was different with Kobe than other players you played with?
I think he had a different hunger. I mean, we all see it and we all can, kind of tell, but like it was from I played with Kevin Garnett, I played with Kevin Durant, I played with LeBron twice, I played with AI, and his hunger was different. And I can't put a finger on what it was, but it's just how his will not to lose was just different. I mean, he come in and just instruct how he instruct practice, how he goes through practice, his knowledge of the game and what he expects defenses to do to him. So he's prepared when he sees it out there on the floor. I mean, there's a whole different preparation that he has for the game that you see anywhere else.
Because he spent more time doing it. Like so Kobe's father, Jelly Bean, he had some dough. He went to Italy. He was killing in Italy. They had money in Italy. Kobe's not from a struggle.
Yeah.
So he only had to practice.
Yeah, he's not from the hood.
Only had to play basketball.
Yeah.
Period. Only had to play basketball as many hours as you want. And you got the DNA from your dad. He never had to go get a job. He went straight at 17 years old, 18 years old into the NBA. So only thing he ever had to do was play basketball.
Right.
Everybody else had to take care of everybody else. Kobe didn't have to do that.
So he had 100% focus.
100%. And he was too young to go anywhere, and he was still living at his mom's house with his dad. So it may have been a house he paid for or whatever when he got out here, but he had a room in the house. So he only had to focus on basketball, and he only wanted to focus on basketball. He went out with Brandy. Oh, wow, Brandy. And they did the whole Hollywood thing just to get whatever. But Kobe's all he had to do is what he always had to do. Wake up, somebody was going to feed him. He's going to go play basketball. What are you going to do today? Go play basketball. He didn't go to movies. He didn't go to the ball. He didn't go roller skating rink.
Right. Didn't go to the
None
club.
of that. None of that anybody else does as a teenager did Kobe do.
So when you played with Kobe,
we played basketball. After the practice, And then after the media leaves
Mm-hmm.
and they clear him out, we play one-on-one. He still stayed in the gym. That's all he did. He was 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock, he's in the gym at Gold's Gym for an hour. Then he's at breakfast at 8 o'clock. Then he comes over to the practice facility by 9 o'clock. We got to be there at 10. Kobe's there at 9 o'clock, 9:10. Kobe leaves 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. It's a full day for him. He goes home, he watches film on basketball. The only thing he did different was when he was doing his record. That's the only time we were at Sony and he was in the studio.
Oh, when he was rapping?
Yeah.
Yeah, that didn't really work out, but, you know.
Because all of he got the shot, which most rappers don't get the shot and the video and, you know, the whole living that part out. Hey, I got to do a musical 3 years ago. I couldn't wait to do a musical. I was like, man, this is going to be like, you know, like Carmen. Like it's a great, great piece. So he got to at least try it, but his focus was basketball.